Hello, my name is Jim Seitz, and I'd like to talk to you today about an issue that affects nearly 3,000 technicians in SFO. The issue is the San Francisco Airport's MCO, or Minimum Compensation Ordinance. The ordinance protects your sick time rights as an employee working on the airport property. The issue has been ongoing for over a year and a half in SFO, and the Teamsters have done nothing about it. Everything that has been done up to this point concerning the MCO issue has been done by our ALTA technicians, working with the SFO Labor Enforcement Office. Like I said, the Teamsters have done nothing. We pay these amateurs and this ineffective union over $3 million a year right here in SFO, and they won't even protect our basic rights. Our SFO membership is split in two for our dues money, and this union and its leaders and supporters take our money and fail to enforce the contract and our basic rights to use sick time. Sick time and its accrual is a contractual benefit that we negotiated a long time ago, and we had specific language in our contract that prohibited the company from disciplining our United technicians for the legitimate use of sick time, Article 14G. Teamsters removed this language from our contract. Why? Another concession. This just shows their weakness and poor negotiating skills. They gave up our sick time language that protected our technicians for the 20-year-old Continental Attendance policy. For 20 years, the Teamsters have allowed our technicians to be disciplined for their sick time. That shows you how bad they really are as a representative union. The new attendance policy, LOA, that they signed June of 2017 allows the company to discipline our technicians for the legitimate use of their sick time, a contractual benefit. What good is a benefit if you are penalized when you use it? In fact, the Teamsters local leadership from all across the system and their appointed business agents approved this letter of agreement in 2017, covering the attendance policy mentioned in their 2016 contract. The Teamsters Union has agreed to discipline you for the legitimate use of your sick time, and they will also count that sick time against you in their upcoming industry reset. What kind of union would do that? The Teamsters. They're going to count that benefit against you during the reset, and they're also going to discipline you for using it. Now you know why our technicians are signing cards to throw them out. The Teamsters are a weak and ineffective union. The only reason they are here is to collect our dues money. They appoint thugs into union positions to intimidate and coerce our technicians into accepting their poor representation on a daily basis. If you don't stand up to these guys, you'll lose more. The attendance letter of agreement that we're talking about was agreed to by the Teamsters principal officers and their appointed business agents at the locals from around the system. These were the same Teamster leaders who endorsed the last concessionary contract at United. These same Teamster locals attacked our technicians in Houston for speaking out against the 6-year concessionary contract. Here's the letter they wrote admonishing the technicians in Houston for speaking out against concessions. This letter was signed by other large locals, silencing the voice of our United technicians. We don't have a voice in this union. Whether it's a bad contract or a bad letter of agreement, the Teamsters have no problem trying to shove concessions on our United technicians during a time of record company profits. They agreed to contracts that eliminated our retiree medical benefits, reduced our existing medical benefits, eliminated scope language, and sent our work overseas. They reduced our profit sharing and failed to even get us the retro pay that we were owed. Let's look at their letter of agreement that violates the rights of thousands of our United technician rights under the SFO Minimum Compensation Ordinance. The letter of agreement was signed and agreed to by Bobby Fisher from the airline division. Let's review the facts. In June of 2017, IBT leaders and business agents signed another bad LOA without membership approval, the attendance policy LOA that violates our technicians' rights as airport workers in many other cities. The IBT surrendered Article 14 UAL sick leave protection language in the last United technicians contract. This language stated you could not be disciplined for the legitimate use of sick time. In February of 2017, after notification from the company of the new attendance policy, SFO plant maintenance technicians argued the attendance policy violated the minimum compensation ordinance of the SFO International Airport by disciplining our technicians for the legitimate use of sick time. The SFO IBT representatives said over and over again, the SFO MCO didn't apply to our technicians because we had a collective bargaining agreement. They were wrong. In February 2017, they stated they would have their lawyers look into it. Apparently, their local attorney never received it or didn't see a violation. Either way, nothing was done by the Teamsters. In June of 2017, IBT local leaders and BAs agreed to a new, more restrictive attendance policy, LOA. The LOA the Teamsters agreed to and signed violates the SFO International MCO by disciplining our technicians for the legitimate use of their sick leave. The Teamsters Union failed again. For the last 20 years at Continental, the Teamsters agreed to this policy that may have violated thousands of technicians' right to use sick time. In 2010, in San Francisco, United technicians were told by Continental HR representatives at a meeting that the number one reason for discharge of Continental mechanics was the attendance policy. Terminations or any discipline for the legitimate use of sick time should be illegal for all certified airmen and technicians working at United Airlines who hold safety-sensitive jobs. We are routinely drug tested because we have a safety-sensitive job, and we cannot be under the influence of any drugs while we're working. Our United technicians are coerced through a disciplinary attendance policy to show up for work, even when they're sick or face possible termination. We had a technician in SFO who suffered a mild stroke and lost his vision. After calling in sick, he was disciplined for using sick leave. The MCO in San Francisco protects our right to use sick time, and the technicians at ALTA brought that right to you. There are other local ordinances that may affect our United technicians across the system. There are ordinances in the following stations that may affect you, and our technicians need to look into these local ordinances. The links are available on our website at altaunited.com. Technicians in Newark, Chicago, Los Angeles, Portland, Seattle, and Dulles may have local ordinances that protect the right to use sick time. You are not even paying dues to the technicians who support ALTA. Yet our organizers have done more to protect your rights and to push back on concessions than the Teamsters Union, who you waste $10 million a year on. When was the last time you heard of any union official saying anything about the sick time and the attendance policy LOA they agreed to? We are wasting millions of dollars every year for no representation. The sooner we get rid of this phony dues collecting agency, the sooner we can have our own professional union that will protect and defend our rights. We can't wait another 5 years and another round of concessionary negotiations to see what the Teamsters will give up next. Whether it's Team Care or one of their Teamster-controlled pension plans, they are always trying to get a hold of our money. They would gladly trade away our superior United medical benefits for a substandard plan that they control. If you don't believe us, just check out what they did in Phoenix to some of the Teamsters workers in that local. They traded away superior company medical benefits for an inferior Teamsters controlled benefit. We are already headed in that direction, and if we stay with the Teamsters, that will be our future. The Teamsters are a union that collects your dues and provides you no protection or representation for this membership. We all know the Teamsters negotiating policy. You have to give up something to get something. What are you willing to give up next to get your next raise? It's pretty obvious they will surrender the 6th and 7th week of vacation for the senior technicians. They will nickel and dime us to death with 5 weeks max vacation and a 10-year pay progression to pay for your next contract wage increase. They have given up everything else, and the only thing that's left to trade away is our 7 weeks of vacation and a longer pay progression. United ALTA supporters over the last few years have done more for United technicians than the Teamsters ever have. Whether that's a bad TA, Team Care, the attendance policy, or the loss of 6 years of CARP, we fight for our technicians' rights. So if you haven't signed a card yet, please take the time to sign one today so we can establish our own union like ALPA. In 1993, the Continental pilots did the same thing. With the help of our legal firm, Seaham, Meltz & Peterson, they built their own professional union, the IACP, or Independent Association of Continental Pilots. Those Continental pilots did pretty much the same thing we are doing today. Their motto, strength through unity, is exactly what we are doing, fighting the corrupt Teamsters Union. We grow stronger every day by telling the truth about the Teamsters. Everything we state we will back with facts and historical evidence, so there will be no question who is telling the truth. Again, I would like to thank all of our supporters and organizers around the system for the work they do every day. Please forward this video and the flyers we send to you to your coworkers who have not signed an ALTA card yet. Thank you for your time and support.